Hey, what's up, guys? Dylan Johnson from Soccermag here, and welcome back to another episode. It has been a while, but we're back just in time for the final game of the season, just before Liverpool lift the trophy at Anfield. And it has been, personally, it has been a great season. And even though there isn't too much to play for, first and second has been settled, relegation's been settled. Pretty much the majority of mid-table has already been decided. There's still a very exciting European, push this weekend where Newcastle, Forest, Villa, City, they're all still vying for the top five, and Chelsea as well. So there's still definitely an exciting narrative, probably the tightest Champions League push we've seen in a long time. So it'll be exciting to get into that. But first, I just wanted to touch on Liverpool winning the Premier League. We haven't been able to speak about it, but going back to the start of the season, if you had said Liverpool were going to win the Premier League and not just on the last day of the season, but comfortably get 4 or 5 Guard of Honours before we played Arsenal. I remember myself and Junaid spoke about it, I think, earlier in the year where Arsenal were rough. I think they were 5 points behind with a game in hand. And we were saying, in a dream world, Arsenal would give us a Guard of Honour. And fast forward a few months later, they did. And I don't think there's much of a need to talk about Liverpool's performances since they've won it. Realistically, what's the point? They were 12, 15 points clear. Who cares how much you win it by or how many points you get at the end of the season? You've won the title. And this time next year, I don't think anyone's really going to care. I think the only people that really care about it are clutching at straws. And then another thing I'd like to talk about is just maybe go through some of the team's performances this season. I think it's best to go second. Arsenal, I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I think it's safe to say that they would be disappointed in this season. There have been a few obstacles, but I think going back to the beginning, a lot of people thought that this was Arsenal's year to take the Premier League. And disappointing, was it a embarrassment? Maybe not. Liverpool were just a lot better than we thought they were going to be. Liverpool were way more consistent. They scored more goals, they won more games, and ultimately, I think Liverpool were deserved winners. Arsenal did have injury problems, but I think the biggest thing was just not signing a striker when they needed to in January really let them down. I think also at times this season they're maybe a bit too hesitant to go on and win games, going 1-0 up, and just trying to control the game as opposed to going for that finisher. But I do think at the end of the season, in the transfer market, they will buy a striker. Whether that is by selling someone, who knows. But I think Arsenal will get a striker, and I think next season, speaking about Mikel Arteta going 5 years without a trophy, I think if you had said 5 years ago to Arsenal fans, similar, not similarly to Liverpool at the beginning of the season, but you would have three title races, get to a semi-final of the Champions League, dominate Real Madrid in the quarters, there would be a positive outlook on that. And I think that one more season for Arteta, I think, is necessary. This season was disappointing, but it's probably the first disappointing season he's had. So he's worked really hard. He's built Arsenal up from a very, very poor position. He has spent money. But I think, bigger scheme of things, one disappointing season shouldn't define a manager. So definitely needs to have another go. Will they win trophies next season? I'm not sure. City will be stronger. Chelsea will be stronger. Liverpool hopefully will be stronger. The competition from 1st to 8th has really become insane in the Premier League. So, yeah, I think they do need to try push on. If they're going to, it has to be next season. I think it's gotten to that point. But overall, disappointing season from Arsenal. But at the end of the day, Liverpool were just a lot better than everyone thought they were going to be. Man City, I don't think there's much to say other than it's been kind of a catastrophic season for their standards. I know 3rd place FA Cup final isn't too bad, but trophyless considering the standards they've set. Haaland's definitely dropped off, but there are multiple reasons for that. I think City injury to Rodri was massive, but it does also show a flaw in Pep Guardiola's plans that if you lose one player, it shouldn't derail your entire style of play. I know that Rodri is insane. He's the holding Ballon d'Or winner. But really, it's kind of poor planning in that Rodri getting injured really was a massive catalyst in how poor they've been this season. And I know they've had other injury problems. Players that were meant to step up haven't stepped up. Some of their January signings have been hit or miss. But this is a massive end of season for them, and I can see them spending a lot of money like they always do. I mean, not to say they always buy their way out of their problems, but I could definitely see them adding 4, 5, 6 players, spending over 200 million and getting back to where they were. And Pep is a monster. We know that they're going to be back. I think I might go into the fixtures now. First up, we have a bit of a Bournemouth versus Leicester, and realistically, I think Bournemouth should. The difficult thing with a lot of these games is probably 5 or 6 games where there's literally nothing to play for other than ending the season on a high. Leicester confirmed to be relegated. I think it's probably Jamie Vardy's last game for them. There'll be a lot of emotion in that, but Bournemouth are a better team. Bournemouth would like to end off a good season for their standards on a high. It's been a great season for them. Quite a few of their players are also going to be leaving. I mean, Huijsen has already secured a move to Real Madrid, and that is another great signing and great business by Bournemouth. I think they signed him for 15 million less than a year ago, sold him for 50. Kirkes looks like he's on the move. There's rumours of Semenyo leaving. Iriolo might be poached by another team. So it could be a farewell for some of those players, but overall, undeniably, Bournemouth are way better than Leicester. I think they'll get a 2-0 win here. Fulham versus Man City, and the first game of the top 5 battles. Man City, I think they need 1 point to secure Champions League. So there's definitely still something in this for them. Fulham, also they have nothing to play for, but they have also been another side that have caused serious problems for the top 6, top 7 teams in the table this season. Do I see Man City losing this game? I don't think so. I think, they got a good win against Bournemouth. At the time of filming, it was last night, I believe. Kevin De Bruyne's final game for Man City, a chance for them to kind of right the wrongs of their season, and finish off with the Champions League spot, secure 3rd place. I know they can't get 2nd because of the goal difference with Arsenal's too high, but yeah, finish on the season on a high, confirm Champions League football for next season. I think they'll get a 2-1 win against Fulham. Then we have Ipswich versus West Ham, and both teams rooted bottom side of the table. Ipswich, nothing to play for. West Ham can't move up, if I'm not mistaken. West Ham, I mean, they could go above Wolves with a win, but pretty much solidified in 15th place. I'm just going to go for a 2-2 draw. I think both teams are just going to go for it. There's nothing to lose. Just why not give your fans something to end off the season with? Graham Potter's been a bit underwhelming since he's been at West Ham, but he did join in the middle of the season. So, yeah, at 2-2, I don't really see it being super... Yeah, there's nothing to play for, just goals. Then Liverpool versus Crystal Palace, and obviously this is going to be an exciting game because Liverpool will, for the first time in over 30 years, lift the league trophy in front of fans, which will be incredibly exciting to watch. There's going to be a parade on Monday. They say there's going to be 800,000, 900,000 people in Liverpool to celebrate. And Crystal Palace, obviously, amazing FA Cup victory, their first major trophy against Manchester City. They are going to be in party mode too. So this game I see is just going to be a lot of fun. I think looking at Liverpool's previous results, you can kind of see that the performances haven't been bad. I think for about the first 45 minutes of Chelsea, Arsenal and Brighton, Liverpool were up there. They were playing really well. They were dominating. They were scoring goals. But second half, there's nothing to play for. So it's difficult to push yourself mentally when you've been celebrating. I know the squad went to Dubai or something, had a party. Arne Slot was, I think, in Ibiza or something, going crazy. These guys don't really care about the results anymore. And I think obviously it'd be nice to get a send-off while, lifting the trophy. But I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool, again, good first 45, drop off in the second 45. Only thing is Palace are probably going to be in a similar mindset. They can't climb up the league table. They've just won the FA Cup. Again, I think this is going to be an exciting game. Both teams are just going to go for it. And there's no jeopardy. Whatever happens, happens. I'm going to go for like a 3-3, something exciting. Maybe a 3-2 Liverpool win. Mo Salah does need to get goals and assists. He needs to break the record this weekend. It's been a couple blanks in a row. to be honest, he hasn't really been helped out by his teammates. He's been creating chances, but no one's really been finishing them. Yeah, so hopefully Salah breaks that record this weekend. I think he deserves it. He's had an insane season. I'm pretty sure he's already broken the 38-game record, but it would be such a statement to break the 42-game record. So really hoping he does that. 3-2 Liverpool, why not? But again, the mood's going to be a celebration. It's not going to really, the result's not going to mean anything. After that, we have Man United versus Villa. And Villa do need to win this game. I think they're 2 points off City in third, but there's 3 teams on 66 points. Villa are one of them. They need to beat Man United this weekend. And I think they will have a good opportunity to do so because Man United have been terrible in the league this season, undeniable. They've put all their eggs in the Europa League, and that game at the time of filming is tonight. Will they beat Spurs? Won't they? Regardless, Villa need this game. United don't. I think if United lose to Spurs, even if they beat Spurs, they're going to be celebrating. But even if they, mourning the loss to Spurs, I don't see Villa dropping points to maybe a draw, but that'll be Villa's fault. It won't be. I don't see United putting in a massive upset here. So Villa with a 2-1, give United a goal. But Villa have to win this game, United don't, and I think that's going to be the defining factor. After that, Newcastle versus Everton. Newcastle also have to win this game. Everton, nothing to play for. Newcastle are better than Everton. Newcastle have to win. Simple, 2-0 Newcastle. End the season off well, secure Champions League football, move on to next season. Forest versus Chelsea. This is probably the game with the most to play for this whole weekend. Forest, if they win, will get top 5. Chelsea, if they win, will get top 5. And a draw will knock Forest potentially out of the top 5 race. So this is a tough one because Chelsea have picked up decent form. They look super motivated. They've bounced back from that inconsistency that they showed from about January till maybe March, April. Cole Palmer looks better than he was. I mean, he obviously ended that drought against Liverpool a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, I see Forest have to go all out for this. They're at home. To have the season they've had for majority of it and to fall out of UEFA Champions League qualification after being, I think, they were second at one point. They've been third for most of the season. To then drop out on the final day would be heartbreaking. It would still be a fantastic season for, where they've come from. But I think Forest deserve to be in the Champions League. They've been a really good team this season. They've added another, they've just added another element to the league this season. They've been a great team. They beat Liverpool. They've beaten some big teams. They've got some good results. Morgan Gibbs-White, Chris Wood, Milinkovic, Sals, Murillo. They've all been great players. Ole Aina. These players deserve to be in the Champions League next season for the work they've put in. So, and it would be great for Chelsea again to not make it. Let's be honest, we all want that. Like Chelsea, after all the money they've spent, after everything they've done for the past 3 years since the new ownership, it would just be hilarious again for them to not qualify for the Champions League because the project continues, and that would just be great. That's just what we want. We want see what happens next. Will they sell another parking lot to themselves? Will they sell the women's team to themselves again? All these kind of things to try to get past PSR. So, yeah, let's give it to Forest. Maybe a 2-1 Forest. Good game, though. Both teams, like I said, this is the game to watch this weekend if you don't support a team. After that, we have Southampton versus Arsenal. And Arsenal are probably going to blow them away. Let's be real. Southampton, even with the most motivation in the world, they're terrible. So they're one of the worst teams ever in Premier League history. I think they beat Derby County by 1 or 2 points. They are terrible. Arsenal, they'll want to end the season off on a high. They will want to secure second spot comfortably. They don't want to be second on goal difference. They'll want to be comfortably clear. So I'm going to go 3-0, 4-0 Arsenal. I think they're just going to unleash the beasts and destroy Southampton. I know it's away from home, but like I said, Southampton are terrible. Then we have Spurs versus Brighton, and a similar situation to Man United where Spurs could be celebrating or they could, be extremely upset after losing another final. again, Brighton have nothing to play for, but Brighton did play well against Liverpool, considering, they came back. I think for most of the game, they were the better team against Liverpool. I think Matoma played really well when he came on. I think, Gruda played really well. Their midfield, Baleba was insane, driving deep from midfield. I think I'm going to give Brighton this. Spurs have been, again, in the league, terrible. Their defence, nowhere. I know they've had injuries. Maybe they'll score a goal or two, but I'm going to go 3-1 Brighton. End Spurs season just like that. And just last game. Yeah, I think Brighton 3-1. Final game of the season, or well, not final game of the season, but final game in the lineup. Wolves versus Brentford. Again, this is another one where it's difficult to talk too much about these games because there's literally Wolves can't move, Brentford can't move. So all they're going to play for is pride. I'm going to go for a 2-2. I think both teams can score. Cunha's back, probably Cunha's last game for Wolves. And maybe Mbuemo's last game for Wolves, maybe Vissa's last game for Wolves. Brentford, my bad. Yeah, nothing to play for, 2-2. Why not? A couple of goals, end the season nicely. And that's my predictions for the final game week of 2024-25. It's been a great season. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I think at times it was nerve-wracking when Liverpool had a slump, but overall, massive surprise. We'll take number 20 and move on, hopefully sign some big players, give Arne Slot what he needs to defend the title next season.